What's up, people? Welcome to the Health is Wealth podcast. Today's episode, we're breaking down the analogy between a car and your body and a little insight on one of my clients, Frenchy. What's up, people? Welcome to the Health is Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Jason Shively, and today I got one of my clients, Frenchy, in the building. Finally, he dressed up for the show. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Good to have you on the show.
Hey, good to be here.
Yeah, and I'm excited to have you. We're going to break down a little analogy of a car's framework and body, and as well as the body that we work with ourselves. And then we're going to start with a breakdown of your health background. But first of all, we want to brag about you. You're the director of operations for Vortex, where you guys repair jet engine planes.
That's right. That's what we do.
So you're a busy guy right now, right?
Very busy.
The industry is cranking. There's a lot of cargo planes out there that you guys are working on daily. You guys, how far out are you guys with engines right now?
The airline industry may have gone down a little bit as far as passenger-wise, but the cargo picked up, so that means more repair for us. What we do is just go inside the engine and perform surgery and try to fix the engine without have to completely build a new one, and give it as fast as possible back to the customer so he can continue flying. So
yeah, and you guys are the best in the business, and a lot of the operations that go through you. You guys got a high rating out there, and you guys travel. Before the pandemic, you guys traveled around the world to fix engines as well. That you guys always have at least 6 or 8 engines at the warehouse when I sneak by to hang out with you. So
it's like I say, it's very busy. We got the customer that came in. Everybody's also getting ready because eventually this is going to stop and this is going to go back to normal sooner than later, I hope and I imagine. But we got a lot of things going on, and we start to be in the top of our industry, and we have a very good reputation, and we do the things right. It's very important. Safety is very important for us. Those engines carry a lot of people and everything, so we make sure that everything is done right, and we, like I say, we have a very, very good reputation. We never have a warranty. We just do everything right. Got to build a team that is excellent, that do everything way it's supposed to be.
You've been in the industry quite some time, starting out as an airline pilot as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I started that. I was a freight dog for a while.
Yeah, nice. And Bobby has a plane, so he's got a lot of that, and he's been working on his license and stuff over the years. But the biggest thing, you've been around the world, and you grew up in Africa.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Grew up in Africa for 16 years.
16 years growing up. When did you move there?
I was 5, left France, I was 5. Moved to a bunch of country, me and my father, we moved in. I was moving from country to country because of his job every 2 years. So make you see a lot of people, make you see a lot of country, and it's a different kind of lifestyle. But
you grow up fast, right? I'm assuming you grew up real fast.
Yeah, very fast.
Because the guy that I know is super handy. We always make the joke why you work out with me, that you're the Tim Allen, the home improvement guy.
I do.
And stuff. That's a certain group of people that are listening to the show that actually know who that show is. But you're definitely the Tim Allen.
Oh yeah.
And stuff.
Well, I hurt myself a lot doing the job. I mean, like I say, like some friend that knows me says it's not a job until Frenchy start bleeding, which is true. And I like more power.
Yeah, that's gonna sneak in. People are gonna be like, "What the heck did they just do?" Exactly. And then anyone who's watched the show one time, they know exactly back in the 90s. Yeah. So you've had some injuries over the years. Let's break down that as well.
Injuries. So I got a car accident when I was about 18 years old, which split my left leg. Not in half, but I cut pretty deep. I had about 20 stitches on the muscle on the lower leg and 30 on the outside. So it stopped me for a while. I had a knee surgery because I snapped my knees a few years back, and I had to go into an endoscopy surgery to remove a little bit of the meniscus. It's not too much, about 2%, but it's affecting. I got the hand surgery after my hand got stuck into one of the jet engine and popped one of my finger out, so they had to be reattached.
Hey, there you go, Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's right. So
Perfect.
everything is all right, but as with the age now, you don't believe it when your father and your grandfather tell you, oh, you'll see when the weather change, you're going to feel it. But it's actually true. You can feel the weather coming in.
Unfortunately, I'm at that age where I notice that as well. Thank goodness we're in Florida where the weather isn't too much. But some of it's, and you are one of them that know 2 days out when it's going to rain. So.
Oh, yeah. I know that. And the cold front, I know when hurricane season is coming about 2 weeks in advance.
So we've known each other 3 years training. We met at a gym doing group training programs, and then you jumped on one-on-one training to kind of work around those injuries that are going to be with you forever.
Yep.
And you actually got some good results on your own just by making better choices in life and slowing down the life you were living. And you had you were on your way to diabetes and things like that as well, right before.
Yeah, actually, I do. I have high cholesterol and I get diabetes, but I started by myself because I reached a point that I had to do something about it. So I started walking. I mean, I walk to work and I do a lot of walking. I do at least 15,000 steps a day, but it reached a point that is not enough anymore. So I started going to the gym, work out by myself, start watching a couple of YouTube to see, and, what kind of movement, what kind of machine to use, because I wanted to develop basically my upper chest and start getting rid of that beer keg that was in front of me.
Yeah. And what was that from? What was the beer keg from?
Well, years of partying.
From the beer. From the beer people.
Not just the beer.
Yeah, not just the beer.
Yeah, years of partying.
But what was it that made you start working out on your own before?
Well, like I say, I start feeling, when you see your pant size start going up and when you start walking and it doesn't feel the same, and my knees start hurting because of that weight that I was carrying, and I was going to 10,000 steps and not feeling good about it. Like just going to Orlando Universal Studio, you got to stop, take a breath, and then you run for about 20, 30 feet and you're out of breath. So I'm like, that's got to stop. So I always been good in my eating. I eat, I cook, my wife cook, so we eat healthy. I just cut down on the portion because this great country, America, you like to eat. I mean, food is everywhere and it's good food, so you want to eat good, but cut down the portion. I was not too much worried about the style of food that I'm eating because, like I say, I like to eat healthy and I like to eat good. Must be the European in me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough, so I was still, drinking almost every day. Not going crazy, but all you need is put a couple of drinks every day, and if you're diabetic and you absorb sugar, that go right it.
It just ruins it. So it was. Did you go to a doctor and realize it, or was it just a self check that you said, you know what, I got to get my stuff together?
No. I've been to the doctor. I've been taking a humongous amount of pills, and I changed doctor for a while because the first doctor that I got just wanted to pound me with pills. I'm like, that's not the solution. Second doctor was like, you need to exercise, and we're going to be able to lower that cholesterol. We're going to be able to lower that diabetes. I mean, I didn't think it was possible because the first doctor told me, you got diabetes, you're done. So I'm like, why bother? And then I got some other perspective from other people. So I decided to give it a shot and then joined the gym, start working on myself. It's not easy on yourself, but I tried to make the effort. And eventually, within 6 months, I started seeing some result. I mean, I dropped 2 pen size by myself.
6 months.
Yeah.
You're by yourself, just doing a little YouTube research, and getting the crap scared out of you at the doctors.
Exactly. Yeah. And within a year, just before I met you, I cut my pills in half. Awesome. The doctor was like, "That's it, we're done." And since I started training with you, I'm actually below what the diabetes is supposed to be. I'm still diabetic because once you have it, you have it. But I'm way below that. I could actually. I'm down to like 3 pills a day when I was at 12.
Wow.
So.
Wow. All because of
training,
underlying health issues that you can control, and
exactly.
And then that's, you've known me for a long time, and that's I always try to break down the simplest things, not overcomplicate it, and That's the biggest thing. It's like just do the little things and you do it. Those workouts when you were doing on your own were hard enough for you, but they weren't nothing compared to what we do nowadays.
No, absolutely not. And the motivation too. I mean, unless you're hardcore and you go to the gym, you're not gonna push. I mean, you're gonna do your machine, you're gonna do your rep, but then you're gonna stop that. There's always a phone call that you want to grab. There's always walking around, taking your time to go drink a drink. That push, that motivation, that hardcore, that you can actually in 20 minutes walking with you and I'm done. I mean, I'm done.
Yeah,
While I could have stayed an hour and a half at the gym by myself and put an effort into it. Don't mean I will break the sweat, but not like that.
And like a lot of people that listen to the show, you have a high pressure job. I mean, the expectations for you and your team, and you being responsible for your team to get these engines out the door and at a quality product that you guys are known for. I mean, that's
it's stressful because you go beyond that. You know, when the engine is gone and the engine is attached to an aircraft, as long as that the engine fly, we're responsible. We feel responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's carrying thousands and thousands of passengers, so we're always concerned. Every time something happens in the world, we're always concerned that we've been involved in somehow. So it's an ongoing situation for us, but it is what it is. You got to go for it. So yeah, you got to compensate. And I found that gym and working out with you and the session I got with you is helping me a lot, reducing my stress and just, you know.
What is it that you like about the workouts? Is it because we do 4 or 5 sets of everything? Is it my lack of counting reps? What is it that you love so much about our workouts that you brag to people about?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I mean, it's so great. I mean, I'm thinking that he's changing everything, first of all. Second of all, Jason doesn't know how to count. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I mean, we got like, I'm counting by myself all of a sudden, and I hear this back voice, and I'm like at 12 rep, and I hear 9. I'm like, what the heck did you get the 9 from? And, you know, and of course, if you want to stop at the 15 that is supposed to be stopped, you got to have Jason's like, well, what are you doing? It was 15.
That might be why that might be the real reason why I stopped doing accounting, because I just didn't know how to count. Yeah. Maybe that's the real reason.
I don't know. It's like, maybe I'm going to get you one of those step counter or something.
Well, if I don't push the button, it's not going to help me.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it. Well, training one-on-one, push the button.
Push the button, train one-on-one. But you've seen, but you've been able to add a lot of things because you have your health back that you enjoy. I would say a average beginning gun collector and stuff, and you like going to the gun range. You enjoy those things. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have, because of your hand surgery and stuff, if you didn't have that strength, you wouldn't be able to shoot some of these guns that you are collecting. Yeah. And then you guys do a lot of team events with the guys that work for you. You guys sneak out to play paintball. You guys barbecue out. You guys go. Heck, you guys always got toys at the warehouse. Yeah. When you guys aren't down. So I mean, you guys are an active group of guys. And stuff, and you can't keep up with that if you don't have your health.
No.
So there's been a big advantage of you having your health back in your lives, right?
Yeah.
And stuff, and you've always given me a lot of credit, and I appreciate that. For you just being able to enjoy the things. You and your wife just got your American bike licenses, so you guys are doing that. You guys are going to start traveling and doing little road trips soon. That's exciting. Yep. You know, you're just now living life, even though you've been in your career a long time and had your chances to be active in your 20s, now you're proving that it's never too late to start.
No, I feel way much better for a difference of 5 years. It's night and day for me.
Yeah.
I even sleep better, and it's just so much better. And it took a little effort, and it took a lot of. I mean, I have to thank you for that. It's a lot of help and motivation and push out and make me believe in myself, because like I say, I was walking alone, but then you reach a plateau that nothing happened anymore, and that's I think when you reach the point that you're gonna be discouraged and like, okay, but that's done, that's it, that's all I can do.
And there's a big comparison just with you saying that about me, but there's a big thing when you're doing the same thing with your crew and stuff. You know that they got to keep cranking on that engine to actually get it to turn. Sometimes you guys got 3 guys on one tool just trying to turn that engine over. Yeah. And stuff. So and some of them are just like, okay, this isn't going to work. We're gonna have to replace something else. And no, you just got to keep pushing through. Yeah. Right. And you know that from your experience. I was like, I do, knowing that from my experience with multiple people over my years of training. So it's the same thing. It all relates and stuff. And that's another reason why you're on the show, is because we're going to break down the analogy, because it's an analogy I've always enjoyed talking about, is the car analogy, the car itself, mm-hmm. and and the body analogy of what systems are, what do the systems do for us in both. And you're going to help us break down the car basics and stuff. But what's your dream car? Dream car.
I gotta stay with the European. I'm sorry. I gotta stay with Ferrari or Lamborghini.
Ferrari or Lamborghini. Okay, so you got a lot of computer chips.
Yeah.
A lot of computer chips for you guys. And then I'm sticking with the American classic. Give me the 1970 Chevelle 454 SS. Come on. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Let's go. You're not going to hate on that.
No, absolutely not. That's in the
Absolutely.
muscle car. American is.
So, and because of the American muscle, we're not going down to Ferrari because I don't have enough notes down here to discuss of what could go wrong in a Ferrari. You can't even change the oil in a Ferrari by yourself.
Well, you're not supposed to. When you buy a Ferrari, you get enough money not
Yeah.
to change an oil anymore.
Exactly. So we're going to keep working on that, getting more money to own those Ferraris and just let them
Yeah.
sit in the garage.
Exactly.
And stuff. Okay, so let's start breaking down. I got some notes in front of me and stuff. Let's start breaking down. Let's break down the cooling system on a car. Help us break that down, Frenchy.
Cooling system on the car. Basically, it helps you keep the engine running. Engine get hot, overheat, damage, whatever, engines. That's the problem about it. And the engine is what make the car move. I'm sorry. So cooling system is very, very important in order to keep the engine at the proper temperature, at the maximum effort, and at maximum efficiency.
Yeah, and your body has the same similar system. It has the system where we can actually control our fever and when we're temperature. And right now through the pandemic that we're in, everyone's getting their temperature checked. So even more so than lately, we're more aware of our temperature, and we need to understand that because that's when we can perform. If our temperature gets up to 104, we got a fever, we got something else going on, and we shouldn't be going to the gym. We shouldn't be doing activities. Should be getting home, resting, things like that.
Absolutely.
So same thing, right? It's if the car's too hot, you're not going to go start driving. For us down to the Keys, a good 4 to 6 hour drive down to the Keys to enjoy. It's just you're going to be pulling over. You're putting fluids in to cool off.
Yeah.
Your body needs those fluids. Even when you're sick, that's why you hear trainers, doctors, plenty of fluids
And
when
rest.
you're sick and rest.
Yep.
Just like the car, you need to rest it. It can't overheat. It's not going to operate properly, and something else is going to break.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing. So another one is we're going to switch it all the way back to the car frame, which is one of the most important things: the frame on a plane, the frame on a car, and the skeletal system for the body.
Yep.
What happens if the frame is weak on a car?
But you got a weak frame, and basically the car's gonna break. I mean, you can break a car in half. You can just, that's it. That's over. I mean, you break a frame on the car, it's pretty much over. It's gonna be major. If you compare it to the body, you're looking at surgery, but that's the same on the car. You're going to get surgery, you're going to need welding, and then you might not even get the car ever in the right shape. I had a car that the frame cracked, he got re-welded, but the car was twisted for the rest of his life, so it was done.
Yeah, it's broken bone, skeletal system.
That's it.
The bone, your muscles allow your bones to move. It's not the other way. Those bones are just going to lay there if they don't have muscles and other things, nervous system and all that to operate. That frame on a car is very similar to, it's just going to sit on the ground if there's no wheels, if there's no tires, if there's no engine torque, if there's no computer system. It's just going to sit there. And for a car, if there's a bad weld, like you jump underneath and you see a bad weld, and you guys are testing out a frame, especially for the muscle cars that I enjoy. I mean, most car guys, they're scrapping that car. They're not even going to attempt to repair that frame because it's too much risk involved to put that car on the road.
Yeah, but it's the same. I mean, you can have the best engine, brand new engine in the world. If you don't have a frame to put it in, what's the engine going to do? It ain't going to move.
Yeah, and if you have a weak frame
And
a
if you have
big
a weak
engine,
frame, you're going to break it.
okay, if you have if your frame isn't solid and the body cage on a frame on a dragster isn't solid, and the best thing, that engine and tires are so powerful that you're gonna blow the car in half as soon as you get off the line.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen with someone's body if you try to operate on a bad leg, a broken leg, when it's still broke.
Yeah.
It has to heal. There's a rest period. There's a lot of operations, and we all know, including your own experiences, that it takes a lot of time to heal a broken bone, and it's for a reason, because there's a lot of load on those bones.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, let's sneak over to the fuel system. Okay, the fuel system is very similar to the digestive system for our body. Okay, so break down what the fuel is, how it's operated.
Now the fuel, is basically what feed the engine. What feed the engine is, engine make make the car run, and fuel system is very important. I mean, depending on what fuel. I mean, you get a regular car engine, you put some diesel in it, you're done. Your car is finished. I mean, you want some performance, you're gonna put some higher octane, so which is a leaner fuel. If you want to compare it to food or anything else, it's a leaner fuel. It's more efficient, and then the leanest, the fastest, whatever you want to build as a car, you're gonna go leaner and leaner in the fuel until you start putting ethanol directly into those competition car, or the NOS system that everybody knows that you see in the Fast and the Furious, which is basically ether. And I mean, it's pure explosive that you put in the engine, which is as lean as it can be. This alcohol. So it's the same with your digestive system. It's the same with what you put in your body as food. It's what you want out of it. You know what I mean? If you want to be lean, if you want to be that, you're gonna have to eat very lean and adapt to yourself, compare the same as the car.
Yes, I mean, we always talk about doing the simple things right, and I always like to talk about when you're talking about fuel for your body and putting the right things in your digestive system, it's simple water, what Mother Nature put on Earth for us. That's the easiest way to break it down. You can add more protein and carbs for other things. Proteins to recover the body, the carbs are for energy. But if you're putting extra carbs in, it's going to break down your body as fat. I don't know a lot of people putting water in their gas tank to drive their car to get the best out of their car, or ice cream cones. I mean, you're not going to shove a bunch of ice cream down into your fuel system and expect it to work, right? So why do we do that to our bodies, though?
Exactly.
It's the same thing. You're not going to put a soda into your dog bowl and give it to your dog and expect that dog to be okay. But we're okay as humans because of the emotional attachment we have with food, unfortunately.
Yep.
And our car doesn't have that. The car only knows to operate on what we put in. And for me, growing up in the Midwest, you put usually basic unleaded fuel into your car most of the year, and then all of a sudden when it gets winter, you usually go to the premium gas because you need a little higher performance because you know it's going to be a rough winter to get those vehicles through that temperature.
Yeah, that's right. But the same way with the people. I mean, some people, if you're not educating on the food and everything, you basically like the car. You don't know what kind of fuel you put inside your body. Yeah. And, unless you got somebody at the beginning, I mean, when you first buy a car, now you get a label that telling you what kind of fuel the car is going to need. But back in the days, you didn't know. I mean, you will go and put the cheap fuel in it, and the car will start knocking and popping, and nothing is doing right, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And back in the days when we had carburetor, your carburetor start getting bad because you put the bad fuel in it, and that's it. You got a chain reaction, but you didn't know better.
Yeah.
All you knew is I got to put fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it more than once. Then I put diesel in the car engine, and then what? The car decides to stop. Then you got to purge everything and clean everything.
Yeah, exactly.
The same with the human body. All of a sudden, then now you got fat. You got a fat belly, and then you don't know what to do. Now you got to clean everything.
Exactly.
And that's not an easy process.
No, it's not. And I mean, there's a lot to take from what you just said. So let's sneak over to what now, as we enhance through this world and as we get smarter as a country and a world, the computer systems in cars get more advanced compared to what they did at the beginning. They used to be really easy to work on. And same with our bodies. The systems that we've learned about our bodies and the computer systems and the hormones of what we know about males or females is a big difference. And some people, especially a lot of classic car guys, even you Ferrari guys, used to like the basics and enjoyed the basics. They were easy to work on, and that's why things. So, but things have changed, and it's a little bit more enhanced. So the computer systems have gotten a little bit more difficult to work with when it comes to cars, right?
Yeah, it's a give and take, because in one hand, he made it easier because, I mean, take the analogy of the body. When you had an old car before, you wanted it fixed unless you knew what you were doing. You bring it to a car mechanic that will fix it. Back in the day when we didn't know what was sure, it was easy to go to the doctor. The doctor will tell you with this basic instrument, because they are evolved as well, and then they will tell you what's wrong. Now you got a car computer inside that do self-analysis that start telling you to a certain degrees, because the car manufacturers still don't want, for you to know everything about it. But you can easily buy one of those little computer check, plug it in, and it will tell you what's wrong with the engine. We have the same now. I mean, we have so much stuff that we can go through, apps and YouTube channel and somebody to talk to. And I mean, I'm just taking like the diabetes, for example. Before diabetes, what you had to go once a month to the doctor. He will check your blood. You get a blood test, and he will tell you, okay, this is your glucose. This is what you got. This is what you need to do. Now they want, I sell it. I mean, I'm not using that because I'm not that bad, but I see people, they put that patch they live with, and he send a signal to the phone, and the phone tell you, up, you know, you're taking too much glucose, stop. You're taking too much sugar, stop.
Yeah.
So it's the self-diagnosis is something that I come a long way, and that's what those computer in the car now is trying to, and he's trying to self-correct too.
Yeah.
You know, the computer will like, you have no new car now that the computer actually shut off half of the engine when you're in the city to save fuel.
Yeah.
You have the computer is trying to, you know, clean up the exhaust filter by himself, clean himself up, and all that stuff. So that's
the
that's
AC
about progress.
the AC conditioning units and stuff
Exactly.
it shuts down, because back the cars that I love and stuff, a lot of them didn't have AC units. That was an upgrade.
Yeah.
And stuff. So because you didn't need that. Now we have computer systems in the cars that can control when the AC is not working when the fans are turning on, things like that.
Exactly.
But in the human body, the hormones are chemical guidelines to let us know where what systems are working and what systems aren't. So our glands are focused a lot on that. So,
That's true.
So a lot of that's compared to like the ESM system in a car.
That's right. I mean, your body is your computer, basically. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You get sick, you get a fever. You eat something bad, you get a stomachache, and whatever comes after that nobody wants to know about.
Yeah.
You cut yourself, you bleed, and then you self-heal, or you tell you something like that. You twist your ankle, it start hurting, and your computer say, no, stop like that.
Yeah.
You push yourself to the limit, you start getting cramps.
Yep. Yep. That ties right into the immune system with the body,
Mm-hmm.
which would compare to on a car the gauges
Yep.
on the dash of your car.
That's right.
So a lot of us back in the day when I was in high school and college, that I wouldn't, since I'm not as handy as I wish I was, would put the black electrical tape over the dashes because I was sick and tired of seeing.
You're one of those, huh?
Sick and tired of seeing something that I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Or crank up the music when it start rattling.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to listen. So just like our bodies, and just like me as a trainer, try to tell Frenchy and everyone else to listen to your immune system, listen to how you're feeling, and adjust your workouts accordingly and your activities to that. So same thing with the car. If you see that light go on in the dash, I promise you, people are way better than me when I was younger. Nowadays, it's not going to happen. But when there's a light coming, you need to fix it. When a light comes up on the dash, no one's going to drag that out. If you do, you're only causing more problems down the road. So it's a big example of when you go working out when you're sick is a big myth out there. You can't sweat it out. And stuff. Sometimes you don't realize. Sometimes you got to know your body well enough to know that are you sick or are you just the after effects and stuff. So that's the biggest comparison that I need people to know about the car and the body when it comes to your immune system. Is you got to listen to your body, just like the lights that pop up on your dash. You got to listen to those. If you don't listen that your oil light's low, you're going to start seeing smoke come out of your engine. You're going to get a lot more issues when you see smoke coming out of your engine because you just didn't have oil in your car.
Or when your knee starts swelling, but you want to finish the game because somebody across is annoying you. I'm not going to mention any name on this, but
exactly. There's a limit. You gotta. That's the competitive edge, though. That's a little stubbornness that we.
That's putting the little black tape on the dashboard. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, let's sneak over to another similarity with this conversation: the speed sensors in the car. How they affect the car? Why is it important to have those sensors in the car?
Because it prevents you from just braking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's another I won't say countermeasure, but it's just it's just gonna help you not push beyond limit.
Yeah.
and that's it.
And the lymphatic system is the similarity to the speed sensors. It allows us to know when our body's taking on too much and when it can run and when it can't.
Yeah.
So it's a little deeper. There's a little bit more deeper when it comes to the body, and as well as most people don't even know where their speed sensors are in their car, and they're not going to unless they're just not getting anything out of their car.
Most people don't even know there is a spin sensor in the car.
Yep.
So, but it's the same. Is your body? The body is telling you everything. The body is a big computer. It's telling you everything. Whether you listen or not, is whatever you look at the gauge or not. You know what I mean, how many people look at their gauge in the car? Not too many.
Yep, exactly. And one of the favorites and what a lot of people only focus on in the gym is the muscle system versus the engine torque.
Yeah.
Okay? We all like both. If you like cars, you love your engine torque.
Yeah.
If you like working out and you like to see your muscles toned up and able to perform, muscles is where we're focused on, and sometimes we tend to forget everything else that's involved in there. Yeah. So, and when it comes to engine torque, we talked about this off the show just real quick. Is what type of vehicle do you want to be? What do you want to be? A truck? Do you want to be a quick Porsche down the road, or one of the scrappy Ferraris, or do you want to be lean and mean, or do you want to be an SUV or a minivan and just get to point A, point B, or a Cadillac, something like that? You got to know what kind of body you want.
Yeah,
and then it's easier to learn how to get the performance out of the engine.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah,
you
got to decide when you go to the gym. You got to decide what you want out of it. Yeah. I mean, it's like you want to be lean, you want to be skinny, you want to be looking, or you want to be fast. You want to be able to perform in everything. You want to be a Formula One. You want to be a NASCAR. I chose that I wanted an upper body better than that's what I want to work out. I want to be a truck. I don't have what it takes anymore to be a Ferrari or a muscle car. So I'm going to go with the truck and a lot of torque.
But you used to perform the way.
Yes, of course.
You used to perform the way your body was at the time.
Yes.
And you've had to make adjustments. Just like as families choose their vehicles, if you're living in the city, you don't need a big V8 to run around. If all you need is to get around town, point A to point B. Now you might need a V8 if you're hauling stuff around in a truck, or you want to go fast.
Yeah, but it's the same as an athlete. If you look at it, people that running, those marathon and everything. Look at the people that win usually. I mean, the best one, the African coming from Ethiopia and everything. They're lean, they're muscles.
Yeah,
there's barely, but they have the endurance. They have the lungs for it. They prepare for that. They know to run in the heat. They know not to overheat their body. They prepare the body just for that. Yeah. Now you want to go in the sprint, you're going to get those guys. They got those legs. It's like, oh my God, twice of my arms. It's just pure power, pure torque.
Big glutes, strong hamstrings.
Exactly.
Allow them to crank for 100 meters.
Exactly. They got to push 100 meters and they stop. Then the engine is in overheat and they stop. That's not what they made for. You take this guy, you put in a marathon, he's not even go quarter of the way.
Yeah.
Because he's not used to it, first of all. And I don't think he has what it takes. His muscle requires too much energy to operate.
Yeah. And do you find as a car fan, people get cars but don't need that performance?
Yeah.
For us guys, it can be an ego because we want to know that we have the car. But but the thing is that that's very similar. That's easy for me to compare as a personal trainer because there's a lot of people that do workouts and try to get the muscle, but that's not the body that they're going for. So if you're trying to be a productive parent at home and just have lots of energy, you don't need to be going into the gym and doing 10 sets of deadlifts, 10 sets of pull-ups, 10 sets of burpees, and think you're going to perform and have the performance for a parent. Now, if there's other goals, it's different. But if you're just trying to have good energy, then brisk walk, Frenchy's been introduced to pickleball, just some activity, constant activity is going to get you a better outcome to be and fit and active parents or grandparents for that stake and stuff. If you try to perform and do 100-meter sprints and wonder why you're always sore and your knees are aching and stuff like that, and all you're trying to do is get out of this, be a better grandparent and be there for your kids and grandkids, then your performance isn't matching your goals.
Yeah, absolutely. But most of the people that buy those cars, but people that buy Ferrari and everything, it's not for the power of the engine, it's not for what, it's for the look.
Yeah.
And you can say the same. At least 70% that people go to the gym is for how they look. It has nothing to do with the power and the muscle that you want to build up. It just, I want to look good. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't care if the six pack is going to help you, lift up 50 pounds of concrete in the back. No, you just want to look a good six pack when you go to the beach, and that's it.
Yep. And you know this from training with me the past 3 years, is performance is number one and the look is secondary.
Yeah.
A lot of people end up buying, getting involved with trainers because they want a better look, which I'm all for, but you just have to know the balance, because unfortunately it takes a little longer to get the look, but the performance can be there faster.
Yep.
And if you're feeling better about yourself and feeling good and feeling looser and not so stiff when you wake up in the morning, then you're on the right program. And then just like for the cars,
Yep.
if you have a car that can get you to work and back and to all the events that you want to go to, and there's no other issues, then you have the right car for you. If you have a car that needs to be like some of these cars out here, the Teslas and
We're not going into electric car, not with me.
no, as in no, but they have to be, but the batteries have to be turned on for so many hours of a week, otherwise they die. The batteries
That's right.
die and stuff. So that's not a vehicle that you need if you're not using a vehicle and you're traveling all the time.
Yeah.
That's not a vehicle that is going to benefit you, because it's always going to be broke down.
Yeah.
And I know this from other people that have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That their cars actually break down because of lack of use, not because they have so many miles back. How we used to grow up with cars, like, if you take care of your car, you can go for 500,000
They were built
miles
for
on
that.
it.
They were built
Yep.
different. I mean, you love your muscle car. There's something extraordinary about it.
But I'm not
You
going
can
to drive it every day.
No, but the muscle car, you can find one that hasn't been turned on for 40 years. You put the key in, change the oil, and it's going to crank
It's
up.
going to crank up if it's
Yeah.
treated good. Same thing
Yeah.
with the bodies. If you keep doing those little things right,
Yeah.
you can turn it on when you need to. You can turn
Exactly.
it on. Okay, so let's sneak over to the car electrical system. How important that is for the rest of the car, and then it's compared to the nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the one that carry everything. I mean, without electricity, and it's funny because the nervous system is an electrical system. That's exactly the same system at all. What it is just it's carrying electricity to power whatever you need at certain point of the car. The same with that. It's going to carry all the energy to move your finger. It's going to carry the sensitivities. It's making the body move. The electrical system in the car is making the car move.
Yeah.
Without electric, the fuel doesn't ignite, so the engine doesn't work. On an electric car, it's even worse. I mean, it does everything. Electricity does everything. The nervous system is the same. It's an electrical system that we have in the body, and the impulse is created by the brain, which is the computer.
Yep.
Same as a car.
And if something's hurt, we know about it
Yep.
with the system, and then we have to make those adjustments. Just like in the car,
That's right.
if you can't make, if your blinkers aren't coming on, then there's electrical system off. Something's been pinched off.
Yep.
Something's going on. Now no one knows when you're going to make a turn, which in South Florida, no one uses their blinkers, so everyone's got broken systems down here.
A lot of broken systems.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the respiratory system. Okay, how we get our air, it's big important, especially starting programs compared to the air
Intake. Same.
Okay.
Once again,
Same.
essential to the engine. I mean, engine need air. The way the engine works, it's a mixture of fuel and air. It's even more important. I'm going to go back to the jet engine. In a jet engine, the fuel is air. 80% of the combustion comes through air. It's only 20% that is the fuel is actually igniting. That's why those airplanes can fly and they got so much range and all that, and the fuel is, it's important, don't get me wrong, but it's not the main ingredient. And the same in a car. You can put the best fuel you can. If you do not bring air inside the engine, it's not going to work. Air is essential to everything. If you the simple is easy. Take a match, put it under the glass, and light it up, and see how long it's going to last. It's going to starve itself.
Yeah.
Stop breathing. You're going to starve yourself for air. It's essential for everything.
Yep. And just like our body, you need to have your filters properly. So those people that are smokers are going to be in a big disadvantage. Those people that have asthma are in a disadvantage and have to know that their respiratory system isn't as the person next to them possibly, so they have to make the adjustments. The good thing about asthma, there's more science out there that you can improve that with the proper steps and a slow program. I know people that have actually completely disappeared their asthma, but if you've ever tried, take a little coffee straw and try to breathe all day through that. That's what asthma feels like when these young kids and people that are trying to do quick bursts of energy and then they're trying to get their air back. So they don't have the big intake that we do when they have asthma. So that's the easiest way for me to explain.
No, that is a great analogy. I mean,
because a lot of people don't realize that they have asthma. Because they're so out of damn shape too.
I mean, I see when sometimes I'm sick and you got your lungs. I had bronchitis. I'm sorry, in the past, and you start breathing and it's so hard and it's painful, and I mean, it's not a good feeling. I mean, it's not at all. You feel like you're hopeless. There's nothing you can do about it because you need air. Your body needs air. Your body is starving for air, but the air filter, which is our lung, is clogged. You know what I mean? It doesn't let anything in. So your body, which is your engine, is not performing.
Yep. And with the respiratory system, the harder it works, the more it needs the recovery. So in fitness, when you're tempo training, when you're doing running, jogging, and stuff like that, you need, you can maintain your capacity to take in air regularly. But if all of a sudden when you want to kick it into gear, you need a longer time to rest. That's why when we go back to that 100-meter dash, it's pretty much like a 1-to-5 ratio. So however long it takes you to get down there, times that by 5, that's your rest period.
Yeah.
That's your rest period. And just like a car, that system is still there. If there's not enough air going in there, everything's getting tighter in the engine.
Yep.
There's something's going to explode. That fuel isn't getting through the torque.
Absolutely. And the cold air, hot air, everything is a factor on it. And the same when you start running and everything, you start overheating, you start breathing differently. And I know I'm the first one. You got the tendency of, okay, I'm moving fast, so I got to breathe faster when you should breathe slower because that's your cool down system at the same time.
Yep.
So breathing is extremely important. I discovered that. I tried in the past and always forget about it, and then when it's too late, when it's like, dude, I should.
It's one of those things, especially when you're starting fitness programs. You got to start slow. You got to recognize that your respiratory system is a process. But the good thing and the bad thing about your respiratory system is that the more you work on it, the better it can get, and vice versa. If you don't use it, it gets worse.
Yeah.
Muscles are different. That skeletal system, the engine is still there in the car, and your muscles are still there. If your nutrition's good, your muscles are still there, and they can perform and turn on pretty quick. Muscle memory takes over, and your nervous system takes over, and stuff like that. Just like the car, you can turn that battery on, the engine's warmed up, and you're ready to go. Mm-hmm. Respiratory system, that's why the car really needs to be warmed up for the respiratory system, the air filters start kicking in, so we don't overheat.
That's
things
right.
like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the planes don't. That's why if we go back to your career, planes, you don't just crank them on and go, right? You have to let those engines go and get up to torque, right?
Well, you need to bring up the power. You need to, it's a warm up.
Yep. I'm not waking up. I mean, unless you're in the military, I'm not waking up and going to a straight 200-meter sprint.
No.
Right when I wake up. No. I got to get going. I got to get some air in my lungs as I'm awake because my systems are all on now and there. So, and then the last thing we want to break down comparison to is the exhaust system and the urinary system. Okay. Your urine and stuff. So in the exhaust system, it's good to see it leaking in the back. It's good to see that drip, right? Mm-hmm. When you're sitting still. Yeah. It's good when it's cold out. It's good to see that white smoke in the back as you start at your car, right?
Yeah.
And what is that doing? What is the exhaust system doing for the car? What's the purpose of it?
Well, it's releasing all the unwanted gas and all the unwanted fumes that's in the engine that needs to get out. That will affect the performance of the engine, and it would damage the engine eventually. I mean, whenever there's an intake, there must be an exhaust.
Yep. In the urinary system, same thing. Mm-hmm. That's why you see that neon yellow color pee when you take your vitamins in the morning, and a few hours later, it's yellow. That's a good thing.
What's
especially
it supposed to look like?
yeah, it's there, and it's supposed to fade away. The more water you drink, the more you'll see that fade away throughout the day. But it's pushing it out. That's why we've already talked about this in the show. When you have a flu, you need more water intake and stuff, so you can see the urinary traction, see if you're pushing out stuff. And kidney stones are a good example where you're not getting enough water. You over days, weeks, months, years at a time, and kidney stones build up because all of a sudden you're taking in nutrition and you're not pushing out the bad stuff that your body's allowed to fight.
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
the exhaust system, the same thing. You got to turn that on. The exhaust system's got to be able to push out that bad fuel that's been sitting at the bottom of the engine. It's got to push it out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the same. I mean, like, back in the days, you get sick, get a soup. The soup is not the magical power that's going to heal you.
Fluid.
It's bring you fluid because you're sick. You don't want to drink water. I mean, honestly, you don't. You don't feel good. Last thing you want is a glass of water coming down your throat. So grandma or your mom or whatever back in the day say, eat some soups. First, you bring some nutrition because it used to be a vegetable soup made by your grandma with real vegetable and a broth. And so it was healthy to begin with. It'll bring some vitamin and calcium. More than the water will do, but it was warm and it was bringing fluid, and that's all you needed is fluid.
Yeah,
that's why you drink tea when you're sick. It's not power in the tea either. So chamomile will make you sleep. It doesn't work with me, but some people say they drink a chamomile and they're done for 12 hours, like Jason.
Yeah, I'm pretty weak on that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty weak. I can knock out pretty quick. It doesn't take me long to fall asleep.
Yeah, look at it.
Fortunately and unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to stand a lot because I just once I'm off my feet, I'm done.
Yeah. He's about to pass out.
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm just right now.
I'm pinching him right now. You guys don't see it, but I'm poking him with a stick.
Yeah. Hearing you talk is making me want to fall asleep.
I know. Me too, but it doesn't work. Hey. I try to talk to myself. It might get worse.
But that sums up the analogies that I have, and a lot of you do a really good job of taking care of your cars. Now it's time to take care of your bodies in the same way. And I hope some of these analogies that Frenchy's helped me break down with you has benefited you, open up your eyes a little bit. You're going to change your oil in your car, so you need to keep changing the oils in your body, and that's just putting in the good nutrition, the supplements there. That's what I'll compare that, since we didn't really go into that. Your supplements are really going to be your oil and your transmission fluid. You need to update those so often. Make sure, double check and make sure that you're putting the right things in your body outside of just basic nutrition. And if you do those little things right, your body will perform. And then for those of you that don't even know how to open up your hood, start paying attention to your car. The air pressure in your tires can make your tires last a lot longer.
And you can perform better.
And you can perform better. So make sure that you're performing, making sure those cars are up to date. Get them moving. Those cars like moving just like your body. And as a trainer, most of you that know me know we need you to move your body. Frenchy, thanks for being on the show, man.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
Thanks for dressing up. First,
look at this.
If you're listening to this, Frenchy's the first one to dress up for the show. We appreciate it. He's a classy guy, and I'm glad he's on the show. So
all right.
We're going to keep working on his health, and I hope you guys keep working on your health.
All right.
Remember, people, peace.
All right. Oops, look at this.